Hi guys, just doing some tips and tricks on lucid dreaming. Basically what you want to do before you go to sleep tonight is remember your intent to lucid dream. Just focus in your mind, I want to lucid dream, I want to lucid dream, I'm going to have a lucid dream tonight, I'm going to have a lucid dream tonight. Just keep repeating it over and over and just remember your goal. Visualize. You can even try and do a VILD, which is a visually induced lucid dream. This is where you visualize what you want your dream to be and then you sort of enter into it. You sort of enter the dream from reality. You slowly fall asleep, and as you're falling asleep you're still picturing this vivid visualization, and you sort of just go into it with the intent to lucid dream, and you're conscious straight away and you'll be lucid dreaming straight away. So you can try that. Also, if you wake up in the middle of the night, it's a good opportunity to try that because it's easier, because you're already half asleep. Once you are lucid, like I said before, you want to ask yourself a couple of questions, just like maybe even maths question, what's 1 plus 12 or whatever. This will sort of bring your logical, rational side out a bit more. It'll increase your awareness. You also want to not get too excited because this can wake you up. If you do find this happening, you want to rub your hands like this, because the sensation of heat and the feeling you get will hold you in your lucid dream. The other thing you can do is put your arms out and spin around in a circle. Doesn't matter which direction. Just keep doing that and it should keep you in your dream. It may also change your dreamscape, your dream scenery, so be aware of that, but you should retain your lucidity. Some other things to do is just look at your chest or look down at the ground at your feet, and that will sort of hold you in your lucid dream. And just try and just focus on an object and just try and bring that clarity back, because it's quite often happens lucid dreams don't last too long, because one reason is because you get too excited, the other is because you become too aware and your conscious mind actually wakes you up. So you've got to be careful of that too. A good thing that I do, but it's not actually too good for you, is to follow the dream plot whilst retaining your lucidity. By this I mean, you're having, say, a dream about going to school and you're doing a test, so you suddenly realize, hey, I've never studied science at school, why am I doing a science test? Oh, I must be dreaming. And then what you want to do is go, okay, I know I'm dreaming, but I'm going to keep doing this test and keep going along with the plot, because the more you go along with the plot, the more the dream's going to stay stable. The dream needs some sort of plot to carry on. If you just suddenly go on a wild rampage doing whatever you want, it might not work out the best for you. But the problem with going with the plot is that you can lose your lucidity quite easily and fall back into that sort of autopilot mode. So it's a tricky situation, but I definitely recommend to make it a standard practice for when you lucid dream every time to ask yourself like 1 or 2 questions, just to stabilize, just to remember your goal, because I have trouble with that, because I don't do that. I have trouble remembering what I want to do, and I often just do what feels like fun at the time, in the moment. So I'll go now into some things you can do whilst lucid. Obviously there's flying, which is quite easy. There's many different techniques. I generally just go with the feeling of flying. Like, I know what flying feels like, so I sort of recreate that feeling, and I sort of use, I guess, my spirit to sort of fly around. I sort of just feel an uplifting feeling and just direct it where I want to go. The other thing you can do is visualize. You can look at the ground and visualize yourself lifting up, visualize the ground moving away from you, or look up at the sky and try and visualize the clouds coming closer, or you know, that sort of thing. You can also just obviously flap your arms or just jump, do a big jump. Imagine you have a rocket pack or some sort of device. You could just pretend you're Superman, or there's lots of different ways, but generally for me what works is trying to recreate the feeling of flying, or just running and then jumping and sort of jumping into the sky and having the intent there that you want to fly and just expecting that to happen. So some other things you can do, obviously there's having sex with whoever you want. This is quite interesting. Your dream can actually fade or disappear halfway through, but if you're lucky enough you'll get to the end and there'll be a happy ending for you. But some other things you can do, you can shoot fireballs, telekinetic blasts, kamehamehas, you name it. You can. I personally like to use manifestation and demanifestation, where I basically visualize something behind me or something in my pocket, like a pack of cigarettes or a gun. I often wander into a store and don't buy anything, just start eating stuff because it's fun to eat the food there. Also, you can demanifest stuff. So I basically just wave my hand in front. It's easier to demanifest or manifest something when you can't physically see it with your eyes. So I wave my hand in front of my eyes, and as I do that, I visualize whatever it is disappearing completely and visualize as if it's not there. So that's what I do for demanifesting objects. I've actually demanifested dream characters, and you know, to me it's all in your mind, but I think as well, when you're sort of dreaming, your body is sort of in the astral plane as well as in your mind, so you can actually encounter intelligent beings or entities. They just seem to be different in some way, form or shape. They seem to have a uniqueness about them that makes them more real, and I guess you could call these transcendental dreams. Normally I class transcendental dreams as dreams in which you see God or anything holy or something uplifting, things like that, something that's totally bizarre and out of this world. So I've had a lot of those, and some other things you can do while lucid dreaming. Phase shifting, you can shift through walls, like phase out of reality slightly and just pass through walls. I do that very often. I don't even like slowly do it, I just go straight through a wall, because I've done it so many times now, I'm so used to it, and I just fly straight through a wall, fly through a window, anything. I don't think about, oh, that wall might not be passable and I might not be able to go through it. I don't think that at all. I'm just like, who cares? If I hit it, I hit it, but that's not going to happen. I don't expect that to happen, so therefore it doesn't happen. This is how the nature of dreams work. Everything is intent, what you believe and what you expect to happen. There's varying levels of control, varying levels of awareness and lucidity. You can be semi-lucid, where you're sort of half following the plot as well as sort of lucid but not quite fully aware, and it's hard to explain, but you'd know once you've had one. Whereas full lucidity, you have a lot more control, you have a lot more awareness, you know where you are, you've got a better understanding. Some other things I like to do, teleport, and I do this I've done this by closing my eyes and visualizing where I want to be and then opening them again. You can also do this with your eyes open, but I guess a little bit more difficult. You can also have super speed, super strength. You just basically imagine that you've got it, and you do have it. Besides that, what else can I say? You should also know that it is impossible to die in a lucid dream. killed myself quite a few times. I've jumped off a tall building headfirst into the ground. I've shot myself. I've had people shoot me. I've done this mostly to overcome fear of these things, and also just to experience what happens. And generally there's three things that can happen. You either wake up, you go into a new dream, or you continue on as though nothing happened. Now, the other thing to remember is you can actually feel pain sometimes, although the pain isn't nowhere near as bad as what it would be, but there is that chance you could still feel pain, so be aware of that. I think it's got more to do with what you expect to happen. If you expect to feel pain, you probably will. So that's something else to remember. Some other things you might want to be aware of, there's something called sleep paralysis, which can occur. So, yeah. Something else that can happen is sleep paralysis. This is when you wake up and your body is still paralyzed, because obviously when you sleep your body is paralyzed so that you don't act out your dream in reality. I don't really know why this happens. It's very rare to happen, but if it does happen, you just gotta not fear it. You've got to remember it. Anything that you're perceiving whilst in that state is make-believe, basically. It's your mind playing out your fears. So if you are in sleep paralysis and you start thinking, oh my god, aliens are abducting me, then you might see aliens starting to abduct you. So you've got to remain calm, and that's the best way to overcome the sleep paralysis. Not try and fight it. Also, sleep paralysis can be used to induce a wild or astral projection, or an OBE. So a wild is waking induced lucid dream. This is a very difficult technique, one of the hardest out there, where it's mind awake, body asleep, and it's very hard to do. I've only managed a few times to do it. And astral projection, you can basically feel your astral body when you're in sleep paralysis, and you can roll over or sit up and then get out of your body. Then you either go into an OBE, which is like you're still in this reality, but it's, I guess, all dark, and you can't really make stuff out quite well. It's like what Robert Bruce calls the real time zone, the closest level to this reality. From there you can go up higher into the astral planes. Basically they're more like dream state, but you're more likely to encounter other entities and things like that. So yeah, those are some of the things you can do with sleep paralysis. So I actually consider sleep paralysis to be a good thing. So yeah, tonight when you go to sleep, try and think of something good to do, and just remember to try and become lucid. Remember your intent, and have fun.